Thank you.
We have traveled here from Albania to the city of Kotor, Montenegro, where we're going to be spending the next 4 days. And we're going to try to show you the top 4 to 5 things that we think you should do here in the city when you're visiting.
Definitely. And I just want to highlight, so far, the hospitality here has been amazing. Right off the bat, our hosts, which we went through booking.com, we didn't do an Airbnb. They even picked us up from the bus station, took us all the way to the place, opened the door, introduced us, showed us around, gave us all sorts of pamphlets and stuff to look at, and they even gave us a couple of beers. Can you believe that?
Well, then last night it was their daughter's birthday, so they brought us in this platter full of desserts and food, and they're just incredible so far.
They've been amazing.
If you are interested at all in this booking.com link, just because we think they're genuinely amazing people, we'll put the link down below. It's a nice place, clean. But with that being said, it is our first day in Kotor, and we're going to head to our number 1 thing that you should do while you're here in Kotor.
Let's go.
Okay, what we have found is our number 1 thing here to do in Kotor is to explore the old city walls. This is the Sea Gate. So we're going to go through the Sea Gate and check out the rest of the old city. This old town of Kotor is actually a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's been around since the medieval times. We're just going to try to get lost in the streets.
You know what that reminds me of? Oh Romeo, wherefore art thou Romeo? You could literally get lost in, well, I mean, technically we've already gotten lost. You can easily get lost in this maze of alleys. It's so cool. So many cool different architectures, so many different like cafes, shops, souvenir shops. Imagine if Kinsey were still here.
Maybe the Red Bull would calm her down. So right now we're in Wood Square, and it is, I'll use the word famous, but there's lots of cats here. There's this lady that actually gets and rescues a lot of the cats. Right now she's giving the kittens some of their vaccines. I think they're vaccines, I don't know, but it's adorable. They're so precious. But the cats are actually kind of important in Kotor's history because they're thought that they actually helped them survive the plague way back in the day. And they're literally all over town. But I'm gonna sit and watch her give some more kittens vaccines because they're precious. Could I sit and watch the kittens all day? Probably. It's very friendly.
I think we've spent too much time on the cats. I'm gonna have to drag Erica away. I think it's time to go.
Excuse me? I think we have a correction to our number 1 thing to do. Specifically, pet cats in the old town. Maybe for hours, whatever works. What would you like to do now? Now that you want to rip me away from the cats.
I'm not ripping.
So by all means, you should definitely come to the old town during the day, but also if you're here, go ahead and come check it out at night. It's completely different, it's lit up, it's beautiful, there's less people, still a lot of people, but less people. It's just a very different environment, different scene. So do both the day and night of the Kotor Old Town.
So the second top thing that we found to do in Kotor was the actual Kotor Fortress. It's a little bit hike up there, but you do have to pay about 15 euros per person. Some say there's a way to get through a hole on the back. There may or may not be a guard, but we'd rather play it safe and not get a fine. So let's go ahead and get our tickets and make our hike up there, see what we can see from high above.
It might just be too early in the morning, but no one was at the gate to charge us, so we'll see if they charge us later, but I'll take it. It's a lot of stairs.
Agreed.
Ready to keep going? Check it out, please. I don't think that way. It is only about 8:30 and I am completely coated in sweat, including my hair, so I'm feeling pretty disgusting.
Yeah.
But it was an absolutely beautiful hike up here. You can see the bay. We saw a couple cruise ships coming in, which also means we missed the cruise people. So there's only about 10 people probably up here in the fortress with us right now. The sun just came over the ridge. So beautiful. Definitely worth it.
Let's enjoy the view. Oh! Did I scare you?
No, I could see your shadow.
Dang it!
It doesn't go up to the top.
No, it's a dead end.
She was waiting for me to come back. Alright, we went up this morning at about 7:30 to try to get some good views, get out of the sunlight. There wasn't anyone there to take our money. But when we did come back down just like 20 minutes ago, probably like 9:30, 10, there was people there collecting, and then you just kind of paid after the fact. It was 15 euros a person, which is actually an increase. It was 8 euros until just a few months ago, per what I read. I think $15 is honestly a little steep, but it was something we really didn't want to miss in town, and we were prepared to pay it, so we kind of made it into our budget.
Yep.
Thoughts?
Well, you could technically go up super early in the morning, skip out on the paying, and then there's probably a back way, but you also risk getting fined a lot of money, so
Yeah.
take it or leave it, make the risk yourself.
Yeah, best to just pay and do it right.
So that's number 2.
This morning we are up and we are going to what we think is going to be the third best thing that you can do here in Kotor, and that's going to be go on a speedboat to go to Our Lady of the Rocks, which is a little church in the middle of the bay. So we are going to go get on our speedboat and head there now.
Nothing. So the Lady on the Rock is technically the number 3 top thing to see. It's really cool because it's like the opposite or the other side of the coin with the Rila Monastery in Bulgaria, which is just up in the mountains. Here it's on the ocean or the sea. But now it's on to the top number 4 thing to see, the Blue Cave.
We're here at the Blue Cave, number 4. So a lot of the Blue Cave tours kind of have different ways. You definitely go through it in the boat. Some of them actually stop in the middle of it and let you get out. But there's a ton of boats. I don't know how safe I would actually feel swimming in the water with all those boats around. So ours took us a little bit outside. We still get to chill in this beautiful Mediterranean water.
I don't think we got the perfect view because there were people on boats in there,
Yeah.
but you could kind of see the glow.
Yeah, you can see it more towards the edges and different times of day are better for it. So it was still very pretty now.
Yeah.
And now
we get a cool dip. Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. So I don't know if we really wrapped it up, but I did want to say that although it was pretty, it was a super fast experience with not a lot of like detail. So even though they're in our tops, you have to decide whether or not it's worth it. It was really quick. You really didn't get to swim around in the blue cave, but still interesting and something to do here in Kotor regardless.
I still liked it. It was the only thing that we did that was out on the water, so I think it's worth it.
Yeah, especially if you want to get some water.
We are actually here during Karneval. It's the first-ish part of August. We had no idea until we got here.
Got lucky.
We got lucky, but tonight is the big parade. So if you are here at the beginning of August in Kotor, definitely come check out Karneval for at least one of the nights that it's going. And the parade's going to start soon.
Yep.
I'm not completely sure of the theme that was going on with the parade, but it was very energetic. We were right by a speaker. There were side speakers. So with that, that's actually going to conclude our time in Kotor. So like I said, number 5, if you're here during Karneval, make sure not to miss the parade.